Okay, your challenge is going to be to create some three-dimensional art using air dry clay. The clay we'll be using is Model Magic. This is my favorite air dry clay because it's not sticky, it has very little mess, and it dries in like 2 to 3 days. You will need to use 2 out of 3 hand building techniques. The extra challenge is that you will not be using any other tools except your hands and a skewer. Okay? Hand building is called hand building because, well, you create using just your hands. You'll get 1 pack of Model Magic and you need to use those 2 out of 3 hand building techniques. The techniques are slab, coil, and pinch. You can use them in any way that you want, and you can use them more than once. You can use all 3 if you want to, but you must use at least 2 of the techniques. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just to refresh your memory and quickly review how to do each of these 3 techniques before you guys get started. Okay, so first up, I'm going to demonstrate how to create a slab using just your hands. So start out with a ball of the Model Magic and then put it down onto the table and use the palm of your hand to flatten it out. Okay, just keep pressing and lifting up your hand to kind of check the edges and make sure that they're all even, kind of going around in a circle, pressing at each spot on the slab. Now the trick with the slab is to check your edges. You want to make sure that your edges are pretty much even and all the same around the entire slab. Now if you want your slab to be less like a circle and more like a rectangle or a square, just use the tabletop to gently tap the edges of that circle and use your fingers to kind of form it into what looks more like a square or a rectangle shape. And there we go. There's my slab. Okay, so technique number 2 is going to be a coil. So I'm just going to roll this back up, take a little bit off because I really don't need that much to make a coil. Start out with a ball or a lump or whatever, and then just kind of smush it and roll it around in your hands to what it looks almost like a little sausage, and then lay it on the table and use your hand, the palm of your hand, to roll back and forth to stretch it out. So the trick to creating a coil is that you're going to be spreading your hands out as you roll. Watch what happens if I just stay my hands in the middle. I'm not moving them apart. I'm just staying right in the middle. Okay, that's an uneven coil. The middle is way too thin. It's actually starting to break. No good. Okay, so I'm going to try this again. Smush it back up. Create a little sausage, put it on the table, and start rolling it out. Now, I want my hands to move apart with each roll. Do you see how they're going apart? They're starting in the middle, and then each time I roll, I'm moving them further and further apart. That's going to help create that coil. What your hands are actually doing is each time you roll, you're stretching that clay out. Now, the ends are a little bit uneven, so what I'm going to do is just gently roll the edges to where they're all the same kind of thickness. And there we go. There is my coil, also called a snake. Okay. Okay, last technique is going to be the pinch technique. Now, some of you, most of you probably have made a pinch pot before, and we use the pinch technique to create a bowl shape. So what I'm going to do is start with a ball of the clay first, and then I'm just going to start pinching. Now, you don't want to pinch like a crab. You want to pinch more like a duck. I'm going to press my thumb in first just to create a little indent, and then using my fingers, pinching and turning each time I pinch, I turn, I pinch, I turn, I pinch, I turn. That way your pinch pot is growing wider and it's even on all sides. It's getting deeper and wider each time I'm pinching. Notice I'm not pinching really hard like a crab. I'm just pinching like a duck using my thumb and my fingers to kind of press and stretch that clay. As you can see, my pinch pot has grown a lot and it's a little bit lumpy. I'm okay with that. I don't mind that too much. But there we go. Those were our 3 techniques, and you need to use 2 out of the 3. Okay, so here's what I made. I started with a pinch pot, and then I squeezed the edges, and I rolled a coil and put it on the bottom part to make it more even on the bottom. This basically looks like a clay eye. I used the skewer to add little lines for the eyelashes, and then I rolled a ball to stick in the middle. So you will have 1 class period to complete your challenge. Use creative problem solving. Maybe you want to draw your idea out first on a piece of scrap paper or your sketchbook. Maybe you want to just start playing around with the clay and see what you come up with. What I did for mine was I was just playing around and saw the different parts that I was creating, and I thought, this would make all these different parts would make a really neat looking clay eye. So one part about this challenge, one great part is that it's all up to you. You are the artist and you get to make those choices. The best part is that there are no wrong answers. So go ahead and get started, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.